Hi, Daniel.
Good morning.
So you describe yourself as a digital creator,
I guess that's kind of accurate.
sort of.
Most of what I do is digital, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm going to say that you encompass so many skills that I've seen so far. And that's only scratching the surface for me because you don't, like you said, you don't have much of a online presence.
No, I'm I'm at risk of being looked at as a jack of all trades, master of none. Um,
I,
I'm a
I don't think you're master of
Yeah.
none.
Well, that's the thing. I'm a jack of a lot of trades, master of most of them.
Yeah.
Um, but in saying that, I really suck at other things, and one of those is promoting myself. I just never thought to promote myself. All the work I've had my whole life is pretty much word of mouth,
Yeah.
and I just
I think
yeah,
you're highly skilled. So
yeah,
you're a writer,
yeah.
a director.
Hmm.
You create music. I say create because I'm not sure
Yeah.
exactly what you do, but you know whether you play instruments or
Music's probably my most developed skill.
right.
So I wouldn't say I'm a muso. I'd,
Mm,
I'd say I'm a multi-instrumentalist. That gives me leeway to say, hey, I can't just pick up the guitar and jam with everyone in the room. But if I'm recording a song and
mm.
I know what I want, I might have to muck around with the guitar for 20 minutes or an hour if I haven't played it in a while, just to get the fingers for it. And even in saying that,
Mm.
I'm often not able to play well enough as to what I want recorded. So I'll have to
What?
play in bits and then edit it together, if that makes sense.
Tell me how that works again. So you play.
Say there's a guitar solo in a song.
Yeah, yeah.
We just want a small little, 2-bar solo
Mm.
before we get back into it. It's a bit old school. We don't do that anymore, but we should. And I'll, plug the guitar in, get a sound I want. I'll loop that music over and
Right.
over,
Yeah.
and I'll just jam out to it. If I hear something I like, I'll play it until it feels a bit better, or I'll play it in different phrases
Mm.
because I know that I'll just stitch them together afterwards.
Right. I
So
got it.
what I
Yeah.
lack in, that feel that you get from a professional,
Mm.
I can make up for with editing.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else do you play?
So I can play a little bit of the guitar and the bass.
Mm.
Play a lot of the keys
Mm.
because if I'm say composing an orchestral piece for a movie,
Right.
say it's like 32 piece like chamber orchestra, I've got like I've spent a lot of money in the past on these sounds that are real violins, cellos,
Mm.
whole string sections, brass, woodwinds. They've all been recorded with real musicians, real instruments, with different microphones in different rooms. I get access to all that. I can play it in on the keyboard so long as I know the limitations of the real instrument.
Mm.
And the sounds that I go for usually allow me to, get like the breath of the flute player. Or, if the flute player like blows into it a bit too hard and
Mm.
blows it out, like I get packs that have all the errors as well. Because I like to, if I'm programming something,
Yeah.
I like to play it in. I don't quantize it where I get everything in time. I want the
Yep.
real performance. I want it a bit loose,
Mm.
but then I want to get that human element into it. So if it's a guitar piece
Mm.
and I'm using a guitar and I'm playing it on the keyboard,
Yeah.
say it's a Washburn guitar from 1988, sorry, 1888. I've got that. I don't have access to that in real life, obviously, but
Mm.
I've got the guitar strings being like the fingers moving on the string.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's that sound.
yeah, or when they let go of the string, you hear a little
Yeah.
donk in the
Yeah.
actual guitar. All of that's there.
Yeah.
So I'll get to spend a bit of time making sure that that's all where it's supposed to be, and I can get exactly what I want without having to get a professional in or pay however many
Yeah.
thousands of dollars to, get that instrument in and have it recorded.
Daniel, do you sing as well?
I sing because I have to make guide vocals often, like when I used to write songs,
Yeah.
or if I was recording for an artist. A lot of the time, my voice would be good for background vocals. It would
Okay.
gel well with them. So I'd usually fill out with that. These days, um, don't really have much reason to sing anything, but I have like filled in the choir section on a few occasions when I'm doing like some composing. Yeah.
What's your favorite? music to compose?
Right now, I really do like composing like scores for film
Mm.
because I get to choose the soundscape and create a completely different and original and exact feel for that.
Yeah, one of the the best scores I've heard is from Lord of the Rings um movies.
Yep.
They're just
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, for me, I hunt for scores. So on Spotify, for example, I'll play something that I like and I'll just let it roam within that realm so I can hear
Right.
something else that I like.
Yeah, yeah.
Or often when I'm writing something or if I'm directing something. A few weeks ago, I had to direct a short sci-fi. It took place in an office building on a Sunday. I had about 8 hours to do it.
Mm.
And I only had one assistant and pulled it off. But to be able to make it work, I had to do a lot in post. So I'm doing a lot of VFX to make it not look like an office building, but rather a
Right.
spaceship. And one of the things I was doing when I was making my notes from the script and getting ready was I made a playlist in Spotify of music that I think would sort of suit that movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I've got like a lot of playlists on Spotify with the names of the projects I've worked on.
Yeah.
And that gives me the feel I want. So Lord of the Rings, originally they may not have had the score ready by the time they were editing. They may have come during or after.
Right.
So usually there's something called temporary music, a temporary track put on there. So the editor would usually put in music that feels like that. The Hobbiton theme at the very beginning of the first Lord of the Rings movie.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Got that real Celtic sort of vibe to it.
Yeah.
I had to, this is about 4 years ago now, I had to do the post-production for this concept called Sherbrooke Down. It took place in 1902 in Australia.
Yeah, I want to talk about that later as well.
Well, the temporary music I used for the opening of that was the Hobbiton theme because that's the feel that we were after.
I didn't get to watch it.
Yeah.
So
The
I've
Hobbiton
only
theme isn't in there anymore. So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I composed the music to that, but
Oh,
I had
okay.
the temporary music there.
Oh, right. Yeah, I
for
get
the
what
feel,
you're saying. Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So it might not have those sounds. It might be a different speed. I'm not going to be using their melodies. It could be completely different, but it's going to feel like that. At least for me as the editor.
Since we're there anyway about Sherbrooke Down, is it Valley of Tears? And is it, because I couldn't find much about it.
Yeah,
online.
look, it's a bit weird. It's the way.
And I want to ask about the road to cataract.
Yep. So
What is?
it gets a bit confusing.
Yeah.
But it's from a man called James Stewart Keane, and he wrote a story about his great grandparents, Evangeline and Matthew Keane. One from Ireland, one from Scotland, and they were here in the early 1900s. He wanted to do a full feature film, but he needed to come up with the money for it. So the idea was team up with a small production company, half the costs, and produce a 20-minute feature that is like a proof of concept / pre. It sets up the script, the main feature. So it happens a year beforehand. And so the production company that took it on was the company I was working at the time as creative director. I also knew James because he had made a few music videos in the past and I was called in to be the director. Things didn't go very well during Road to Cataract in terms of the production. And that's usually the case for a lot of productions. Things don't always go to plan. Or things never go to plan, I should say.
Let's talk a little bit about that because I don't know anything about filmmaking. So what went wrong? What were the...
A lot of people were brought on that didn't need to be there.
Right.
Which meant a lot more egos in the room. And these people didn't even contribute to the project by the end of the day, but rather just the problems. Decisions were made without consulting the people that should have been consulted, and most of the budget was blown on things that were unnecessary. Yeah. They even organized for all these runners on the set, which are just assistants, grabbing coffee, pass me this lens. And for some reason, they just would stare at me when I'd ask them to just pass me something. And it turns out they were instructed not to help us.
Oh.
So we could have had maybe 2 or 3 runners there that would have been appropriate. They had like 10 or 15.
Mm.
And they were all instructed not to help the people actually making it. So again, unnecessary politics.
So what did happen to the...
I found out because at the end of the second day, one of the guys came up to me and just told me.
Mm.
I still remember his name and his face all these years later, which is a big deal for me. And
Yeah.
I believe he's the sound guy on a Chinese vertical film series at the moment. So he ended up getting into the industry, which is good to hear. But besides that, they didn't really give any consideration to post-production.
Mm.
So at the end of the shoot, it was a 3-day shoot, they only filmed half of the film. So there was a big fight scene that happens in the second half of the film.
Mm.
And we only just got to that when we ran out of time. So I was told to direct it quickly. We got an extra hour of the location and the actors. Wouldn't get access to the actors otherwise because, 2 of the main actors were from Home and Away.
Right. That was...
Paddy and Sophie. Yeah, Sophie Dillman and Paddy.
I don't know. I don't watch Home and Away, but I know there's a very good-looking boy. I call him a boy, but he's probably a man.
Bright blue eyes.
Yes. He's so gorgeous on...
Paddy, yeah.
Yeah. On the
He's a
screen.
nice guy too.
Mm.
So he plays Matthew, the main character.
Mm.
And he gets beat down by a professional bare-knuckle boxer.
Right.
And that's Tim Robards, who's the Tim Tam genie. And everyone loves him. Yeah, there's one scene where he rips off his shirt in the fight. And I think I heard, woo, in the back of the set. And I heard all these phones coming out of their pockets. That was funny.
Yeah, Craig McLaughlin in there as well.
Yeah, so after we filmed that, I ended up doing the post-production on that and finishing it in 4.5 weeks. So that's writing the music, doing the editing, getting rid of crew in the reflections and a truck in the distance passing by, things that aren't supposed to be there. And the fight was pretty hard to put together. I could only shoot 30% of what I choreographed.
Right.
And but I made it work.
So what happened to the movie?
Well,
where did it go from there?
So James wanted to promote that in short film festivals and industry nights and that, so he could gain more interest.
Mm.
Then his idea was, I'll shoot several scenes from the script, and I'll choose those scenes, and I'll cast actors that are popular in England and from older Australian TV and that.
Mm.
And maybe I'll be able to, get enough interest in those regions to get funding, which I thought was actually a pretty decent idea. Problem was, he shot a few. I ended up doing one for him with Craig McLaughlin. And the best thing I got out of that was meeting him. Beautiful man. Awesome guy.
I've always liked him. I have a soft spot.
Yeah, I knew nothing about him besides the crap that the media spit out.
I loved him in the Rocky Horror Show.
Yeah, well, I've gotten the chance to see some of that because I'm actually producing a podcast regarding his Me Too case. When you hear some of the facts about that, it's infuriating. I think I may have told you this when we've talked before.
Yeah,
it's disgusting how one-sided and pathetic the whole thing was. And like I said, nice guy, such a quite genuine. Which is even harder to find among actors.
That's the impression, I get from him. But I suppose if you're like that, it leaves you open to a lot of things. Yes,
I would even say he's the type of guy, it would seem, that would be easy to take advantage of purely because I wouldn't say he's naive, very intelligent. But I think he's the type of person that is willing to keep himself open to try, giving you the chance to show what you've got.
Yeah.
Are you a loving person, or are you the type of person that's going to take advantage?
Yeah.
Let me know now. I really get that.
Yeah.
If that is indeed, where he's coming from. But
all right, tell me a little bit about that title, The Road to Cataract. What does cataract mean in that?
This is
I don't
tragic
get it.
too. Okay, so the Cataract River down south.
Oh, okay.
So Sherbrooke Down was a village down south with hundreds of people there and a world-renowned orchard. Balmain, which was where the Parliament was at the time, were running out of water. So they decided, hey, we're going to open up the dam. We're going to build the dam. Did they build the dam? Anyway, we're going to flood Sherbrooke down and not compensate any of the people there and completely destroy the orchard. And yeah, basically we've got like a little lost city of Atlantis down south now, today, still. And they did that purely because they wanted water and they didn't want to look after any of the people down south, which is kind of what the government's doing up north now, I think, as well. 100
Right.
years later, 120 years later.
North where?
I know a lot of the farmers have had their water intentionally blocked by privatized land, and the government is the ones making the sales.
Right.
Yeah, even some of our previous, like, I think some of our previous like leaders here, like Berejiklian and that,
Are you
even
talking
had some
about
money in the game
companies that maybe make soft drinks, things like that? Is that?
Actually, you know what? I don't know. I'm not really speaking from a place of authority here. I'm just something I would have been into a few years ago that I've
Yeah,
sort of
because
forgotten.
it's
but
something that I've
yeah, definitely dodgy things
heard.
happening with the water
Yeah,
up there, whether
yeah.
they're selling it overseas as well.
Yeah.
But I do know that a lot of the farmers had water and don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause I've heard some stories as well, but unsubstantiated. So I can't really.
yeah, look, everything's
what I've heard.
unsubstantiated technically unless you do the research yourself.
Mm,
But I think that's a bit of a cop-out when there are people that dedicate their lives to doing that kind of stuff.
yeah.
On YouTube, there's a guy named Friendly Geordies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know him?
Yeah.
He does his
Not
damn
personally, but
research.
yeah.
But he gets into it.
He's pretty good.
And he shows the receipts
And
as
he's
well.
been in a what do you call it? In some trouble because of things.
Oh,
he
yeah,
does,
but
isn't he?
Barilaro sent his goons after him,
Yeah,
firebombed his
yeah.
house, threatened him.
Yeah.
Had to go into hiding for a while.
He's brave.
Yeah, well, the goons Barilaro used the guys that I grew up with in the area.
Oh right.
Yeah. One of which I put in his place once too. So
Did you want to talk a little bit about where you grew up, what that was like? Because
yeah,
no, you don't have to.
only because
Look,
I'm an old man now and it's kind of boring. But
not really, because look, I grew up in an area with certain demographic doing certain things,
Yeah.
viewed certain way, quite often in the media for the wrong reasons. And you know, when you grow up, you think everybody thinks like you, everyone's like you, everyone understands, and then you move out of where you're from.
That's exactly where I'm at now. Yeah.
You know, and you get this like shit, like the world is so different, and people don't have no comprehension of where
they won't
you
believe
are
you.
from. Absolutely. So
Yeah. So I grew up in Western Sydney. So started out in Mount Druitt.
mm,
I grew up mostly in Granville till my teens, then Guildford. So all around the Parramatta area.
mm,
Yeah. Look, it is a different world.
yeah.
Yeah. It is a lot more like the movies
Mm.
than a lot of people would believe. A great example.
Well, these situations have to come from somewhere. These stories have to come from somewhere.
Yeah, that's the thing. But a lot of the people that live in those better parts, they just think that we watch too many American movies or something like that. They don't understand the stuff happens daily. Guildford's a nice suburb with really good grass and trees, but at night, half the time, those quiet little back streets are blocked off by police.
Right.
You don't see that. You don't know.
Yeah.
If you're just driving through, it doesn't look like anything. But it's, there are good, decent, normal people that go to work and do their thing. But generally, if you're there, you're sort of amongst scum. And scum that aren't kept in check. Like I said, the goons that Barilaro used, they're from that area. And they're getting paid by the government. They're part of the government. What are you going to do? You've only got so many brave people at Maryland's police station, Parramatta police station. And even then, half the time their hands are tied. And this isn't like a movie plot. This is how it was.
Yeah.
Like even the stuff I personally had done and seen and, escaped or whatever. There's stuff that people in those better parts just would not believe.
Is that part of the reason why you moved up here?
No.
Or you've already moved?
I
got out of it?
No. So I ended up moving because my wife got sick. After about 2 years of her being sick, I had to sell my house. And then I left the area. I ended up coming to the Central Coast because it was cheap.
Yeah.
Yes, you heard
At
that
the time.
right. The Central Coast was cheap.
Yeah.
And it ended up just being the best kept secret I ever stumbled upon. I can't think of where in Sydney I'd want to live. It's a completely different culture, different life.
Yeah.
And it made me see that, no, where I was and how I was living was not normal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's that's where I came from.
Mm.
Actually, I'll give you a great example. It won't take long. And it goes back to movies again. George Basher, writer, director, actor, made a movie called The Combination.
Mm.
And it was just about, a guy played by him and getting involved with gangsters and his little brother getting shot. Sorry, spoilers, guys. And, drive-bys happen. Things happen.
Mm.
And I remember seeing it, just to support him and thinking, wow, that was actually pretty good. And it was very accurate, somewhat accurate to what really happened. And I saw a lot of these reviews for it, from Cronulla and East Sydney and that.
Mm.
Don't watch this movie if you want to see the real Australia. This guy's seen too much American History X. And not only did all that really happen, but it happened on the street he lived in. It happened 3 doors down from his parents' house. And we all knew the guys. Like, George wasn't there, but we were. And unfortunately, the target's little brother and dad were there as well. And the shit really happened. That is the real Sydney. It's not great, but it does happen. People are getting threatened and killed and, dunked into fish tanks and getting their teeth knocked out. And it happens. Yeah.
I think it's important to talk about those things.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of people out there that, as you said, think it's just fiction made up, exaggerated perhaps.
Yeah.
Didn't really happen, doesn't happen.
Yeah, wait till your car breaks down in one of those areas and you're naively walking down the street because, like I said with Guildford, there's nice grass and nice trees and it doesn't really look like anything bad. People's lawns are done. Well, you don't consider the little things like, oh, okay, the lawns are all done. That automatically makes it a nice neighborhood. No, it doesn't. That might mean that they're all scheduled because they're all housing commission. Or, oh no, it's a safe neighborhood, or they're all shift workers. Cool. What makes that safe? Because we would go to your neighborhood in the broad daylight then, and poison your dogs, and then 2 days later come back and break into your house. So it's it might look nice to these people, but it is a different world. People think differently. Your clothes will get stolen.
Is there a little bit of the tall poppy syndrome thing that happens where you grew up? Like yourself.
I think that's prevalent everywhere.
All right.
I think it's just a bit more obvious and it's a bit more on the surface in those areas because I think when you start to climb the social ladder, things become less physical and more digital. So, sorry, I know I'm confusing you here. I can see it. All right. Poor people struggling week to week.
Yeah.
They're going to have cash on them.
Mm-hmm.
The upper echelons of society wouldn't even have $1 on them.
Yeah.
They've gone from physical to digital.
Oh, I got you.
Now, problems are the same. You're not going to see problems in people in the upper echelon of society because their problems are digital. They're not physical. In those worse areas, you'll see this guy's got a broken cheekbone. You'll see the evidence that he's probably on ice. You can see that neighbor or hear that neighbor getting beaten up by his girlfriend. And you can hear the threats she's making. And then you don't get any of that. The higher, like in society, people sort of like find themselves. Their problems become more invisible to you. They're not physical anymore. And that's not reflected in the actual physical look of the area.
You
have to get to know it.
Yeah.
So your car breaks down and you have to, walk to the Blacktown shops to, make a call because there's no reception there either because some dude, ran into the transformer yesterday, drunk or on drugs, and it has to be repaired. And that's going to take longer because their council isn't as affluent as others.
Right.
Yeah. Do you see what I mean? Like even in the West, when you're looking at morning traffic going to work, there's so many more breakdowns in worse areas because these people can't upkeep their cars properly. It's almost like you get taxed for being poor.
I'm going to ask you, Just one more quick question about
Yeah.
where you grew up before I move on to other things. Is there a tight knit Lebanese community there? Or
There was.
yeah,
In Maryland's now, it's mostly Afghan.
okay,
So you can really see a difference in the culture. Even the shop fronts, they're really dirty, and all their wares are on the street as well. So you have to walk around them. So they basically extend their shop fronts to the sidewalk.
right,
There are homeless people everywhere and junkies everywhere.
right.
My mother told me that she was asked for a cigarette. She said, "Sorry, I don't smoke."
Mm.
This guy pushed her to the floor, started screaming, and everyone just walked past like it was nothing. And he just screamed himself out and walked off, luckily.
Wow.
When I was in high school,
Mm.
I remember in Maryland's in broad daylight, if that happened, me or anyone I went to school with, any of the guys there, would think that could be my auntie, my grandma, my friend's mum. Like, we're going to get in there, we're going to check that dude. Probably a little more rough than we should.
Yeah.
But he's not only is he not going to do that again, he's probably not going to be in that area anymore.
Right.
So yeah, look, it's a bit of vigilantism there,
Yeah.
and that's not necessarily a good thing for a structured society. But I could see the validity in it. I could see the utility in it.
Yeah.
You know, it had a purpose, and now there's none of that. It's really filthy as well. Everyone's garbage is on the
Yeah.
streets usually as well, I've noticed. And yeah, it just seems like a town that Sydney forgot. It's changed a lot.
I'm trying to think if I ever did go to Marrickville. I don't.
That's much the same still.
Way back in the.
Yeah, our Greek
remember.
friends, they hold down the fort. They're good.
Okay, enough of that. I'm
Yep.
gonna ask you about the Baker and Stone show.
Oh no! You watched it?
I watched, some of it. So they're your funny skits,
Yeah. So
which is, I imagine, a lot of fun to make.
well, yeah. We did that for a short while.
Yeah.
So the baker in Baker and Stone is Casey Baker. He's a writer director as well, with a history in music production.
Mm.
So very similar journeys, and we met in the early days of, Central Station's doof doof high energy movement, early 2000s, and he moved on to pretty big things. He was the engineer and producer for Kyle and Jackie O for the first 10 years of their show, and we ended up connecting again later in life now as dads, and both haven't gotten into film over the years too, coincidentally, and I had a studio not far from his house, in Summersby here. And I invited him to just come and be here. It's a huge studio. I'm here by myself. So sometimes during lunch, I would render off a video I was working on. So I was probably making a video for some company.
Mm.
And rendering a video is like the program I'm using, making it a video file that, you can watch and upload and use. So I might have an hour spare. So I'd click it, I'd be like, all right, Casey, I've got 45 minutes. We'd just grab the cameras. He'd make something up. Usually he would just make something up. And we would just dick around for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And I'd get back to it and he'd just chop it up. And there you go. We'd have a skit.
That was quick. I remember watching the going through McDonald's.
Yep.
And I thought that was really well done. The angles, the shots.
Funnily enough, he was picking me up from my home that day to go in together.
Mm.
And it was already lunchtime. We just wanted to grab a quick bite.
Yeah.
So we came up with the idea. He came up with the idea. So we went through a drive-through of KFC first, and
got the box of KFC.
He got the box, yep. And then when we were going through drive-through, I got out and I just took video of the car on a few different angles, and that's what we ended up using.
But, and him from the back seat as well.
Yeah. And most of that was shot right outside of my office in the car park.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So only the parts where you see McDonald's are actually McDonald's. So we went through the drive-through twice. The second time I was in the back seat with the camera.
Yeah.
And I don't remember. It was a couple of years ago.
What platform were you making them for?
we were just making them for fun.
For fun.
Yeah,
It
because
looks like it was fun.
yeah, we were both like we were both just like working jobs at the time that was like almost exchanging our time for money, which is something we both weren't used to. And we we're just trying to like we're going through transition of career, not complete career, but like it was just after COVID. A lot of places didn't survive, so a lot of clients sort of had to reduce the services that they were outsourcing.
Yep.
So yeah, for us it was just about having a little pick me up, a little creative outlet.
Are you going to do that again? Is that something that you want to?
We both mention it often.
Yeah, I think you should.
Yeah, well, Casey occasionally writes some funny shorts as well. So we've done a few of them since as well, where like I've gone in there as an actor as well, which was quite fun because he uses like really great actors.
Yeah.
So it's fun to go in there and muck around with them. But yeah, I think it was just last week he mentioned that we should do another Baker and Stone. Yeah.
I think you should.
Yeah. Look, I actually, we both feel like it would be a good idea. We could have just done one of those a week even quite easily. But, it's hard.
I think you two look great together. You look like you work well together.
We're very
screen.
close. So that's probably most of it. But, that's the thing too. I always think people don't want to see my face on screen. Like get like good looking camera cut ready, and then on the other end, I'm looking at Casey.
I think you both are good looking, great on camera.
I'm gonna have to play this to Casey now. Well, that's the thing. I think he looks great on camera.
So do you. You both do.
Yeah, but like he delivers so well, and then he's thinking, no one wants to see my face, and I'm just like, God damn it. Yeah. No, I think what works about that is not being self-conscious, just having some fun.
Yeah.
Which is what we do.
And it comes across as, it does come across as the both of you having fun.
Yeah, well, we're making it up on the spot. So I think that's a good secret as well. Yeah, I think if you plan too much, like even like when Casey will be like, hey, got an idea, we'll do this tomorrow. Even if he writes a script, it's very loose because like he's basically saying this is the framework, but we'll just make it up from there. Like, we don't have too much planned.
That's why you both look like you're having fun. And I think you should do more.
So what's your favorite skit?
My favorite, it's the one where you swear where, is it Casey was complaining that you didn't like his Instagram or something. And you found out that he didn't put any money in your, is it a GoFund?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, again, perfect example of Casey just me saying, hey, I'm rendering, it's lunchtime, and him just being like, all right, let's do this or this, Yeah. I remember the very first one was just a camera test.
Right.
We went to the park down here at U Minor, and he just set up the camera, and he was just like, all right, you're an English dude, and you're complaining about your son, and, just go for it.
Yeah.
Talk about how frustrated you are at home and whatever. It wasn't hard because COVID. So I just rambled on, and he was next to me trying to drink water and spitting it, and it was a wide shot. We were testing a certain lens as well. So he ended up using his own spit take as part of it because it was real and it works, So
Yeah, do more, please, and put them out there. So let's talk a little bit about echoes. Is that what you done?
Yeah, that was a recent project. So that is Casey directing.
Right.
So
did you do the music?
Yes.
For that.
Yeah. So Casey he's a very competent director. He's got a real like polished American commercial look.
Yeah.
And he's had over the years many offers of people scoring his films, so composing, doing the music for him. And he said that these were very high profile people because he was working for the Kyle and Jackie O show. And all those interviews with the celebrities that happen on the radio, that's Casey doing it. And then he'll record Kyle and Jackie O doing the questions and then stitch it all together. It's a practice that radio does quite often because, you only have the hosts for a certain amount of time or for a certain amount of tasks. And that's something that falls on the production team or the engineer. So he said that on several occasions he's had people offer to score, and these people have serious credits, and he hasn't used a single one yet. And I was saying to him, I didn't stop music when, like we stopped that sort of, EDM thing. I moved on to composing. I've composed a few kids shows on, Channel 9 and 10 and ABC, and I've done lifestyle shows like Getaway and that, and I've done a bit, man. And he was just like, yeah, cool. And then I showed him Sherbrooke Down.
Yeah.
And he called me swearing. He's a really conscious dad, so he doesn't swear. Like in the house that we were, what? Didn't you tell me that you could score like this? I'm like, I told you I was pretty good. He was like, yeah, and you said it like that. Again, I have trouble selling myself.
Yeah, you weren't convincing enough.
Yeah. And then like he told me that, like, all these people over the years, that's why I just brushed it off. And so he was doing this, Echoes, which was a show reel, really. So
what's a show reel?
So, an actor will shoot a show reel. They'll get a cameraman, or they'll just take it on their phone these days on a white wall, just doing lines to the camera.
Right.
Well, this actor, her name's Melissa Jones, very clever, very talented. Her idea is, hey, fellow actors can like maybe pull some money together and make an advanced show reel, basically shoot a short film or a scene that looks like it's in an actual movie. And for those interested out there, Casey is currently taking on projects. So if you'd like to apply or approach, just let the show know and we'll get in contact. But it's a really good idea. It's a great product. And Echoes was just that. Melissa wrote that script herself, and Casey was just like, all right, let's do this. We found this nice place in Penrith. We filmed for the night.
Yeah.
One night, I was with him as an assistant, and I think it came together great. I've been on set where there's like 30 people. There's a lot of money worth of cameras and lights and a lot more time.
Yeah.
To do things in, and it doesn't look like a movie. It looks like an Australian TV show.
Right.
Casey makes stuff look like a movie, just by himself.
What defines an Australian TV show then?
From an editing perspective, the cuts go for too long and they feel awkward.
Right.
From a cinematography perspective, things are lit very safe. Like everything's a rom-com. Right. Everything's a comedy.
Yeah.
Everything's very evenly lit and a little too bright. They're scared to go moody.
Right. And
I understand, because that's extra production time. It's extra post. It means extra money. But you get that look that I think you know what I'm talking about. Audio, from an audio perspective, it's very empty.
Right. Yeah.
The sound effect, the Foley is too crisp and clean. There is never underscore. There's never music just subtly in the background,
Yeah.
And even then, the composers that he used, I've got to say, like, respect to you guys. I know exactly what it takes to make something sound great. But God damn it, stop pretending like you're a composer when you studied violin and piano for 4 years at the conservatorium. It doesn't mean you're a composer, and you can hear it in Aussie films.
Right. I'm trying to think back, because what you're saying, I think, defined Australian film until Crocodile Dundee came along, I think, around that time.
Well, why do Aussie films still look and feel like that?
Like Crocodile Dundee or like before?
Like everything else.
Yeah.
There's a few things that are great, but even then, some of our greats, like Wolf Creek, it looks a bit dodgy, but that could work for the type of movie. I have to say, I only watched it recently.
I haven't seen it.
Well, look, I wrote a script, and the people that read it said they got slight Wolf Creek vibes, so I was like, I'm going to have to watch it.
Right.
And personal opinion, people, don't go writing death threats to my record label, but what a piece of shit. Sorry. It was poorly paced, filmed crap. The actors were horrible. John Jarrett was fucking amazing. He was as good as the rest of the production was shit.
Yeah.
He's the only thing that I could say was just really stand out about that. But it gets praised all round,
Okay.
And that is what I'm talking about. That's one of our greats, but like there's so much better. And I bet you there's better Aussie stuff too, but they're not brought to the forefront and we don't get to see them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Why is that? Is it because it's closed?
Closed circle, a closed circle. So government funding for anything.
Right.
You better not be white, male, and straight. You better not be. How dare you even think about approaching the government for
You think
funds
that's
and grants?
changing?
I'd like to think so, but I personally haven't gone to any of those, had meetings with them, been part of a
Right.
production, doing that for quite a while. I'd say almost 10 years.
That's all the yucky stuff.
I know it got worse over the last few years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember a couple of years ago jumping on the website to see something because I think I was asked to help with a pitch deck for a production. And
Right.
that's a presentation to show investors why they should invest in your film. And the language was disgusting. It was almost in pretty much plain language what I just said. Don't even think about it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, there's a lot of like crappy and backwards and outdated, I would say, in our politics,
Mm.
because that stuff is ending. But Australia is a little backwards or behind, I should say.
Yeah,
when it
it's
comes to
not
that.
hasn't caught up yet.
Yeah, and that closed circle has always existed. So the people that have the talent, the drive,
Yeah.
the ideas, and even the ability to see it through,
Yeah.
they don't get their shot. So their films are obscure films that went on a few platforms,
Yeah.
at short film festivals, and then just live on this person's YouTube channel now.
Yeah.
A YouTube channel with like 200 subscribers, and this person is brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this
'Cause
person should be getting the jobs.
And you also think that, I don't know, you tell me, if this sort of creativity only lasts while you're younger, as you get older, you tend not to have as much energy to put into that
Well, that
sort of
might be
creativity.
the industry and life itself
Yeah.
crushing your soul over
Yeah.
that time.
So if you've had these things happen and have been unable to get funding for it, you that time sort of passes you by, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, I've never really been in the position or had something at the right time to get that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I told you before, my biggest weakness is networking and promoting myself.
Yeah.
So it really is a game of popularity.
You need a manager
I definitely need a manager. Yeah. But yeah, just
who'll work for free because they believe in you, Daniel.
work for free at first because your
first,
cut
of
is going
course,
to be
yeah.
very well worth it. Yep.
Yeah. You need a Sharon Osbourne.
Yeah. No, look, a lot of my shortcomings are because of the fields that I'm weak in.
Mm.
Self-promotion being
Mm.
probably one of the major ones. But it's also a game of priority. I've been with my wife for 25 years now.
Yeah.
So we were 16 when we got together. And there was some health issues, in 2009. And most of my 30s was dedicated to looking after her full time.
Mm.
Those are the years where I should have been mingling and getting profiles online and showing off stuff and doing
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So I'm at the position now where I wasn't ever able to really present something and get those grants and put that effort in. And these days, it seems like demographically impossible.
Yeah. You're just in the yeah.
Yeah, so I don't really consider that now. I'm kind of the opinion that thinking of any of those as excuses are just that, excuses. And if you can produce something so damn good
Mm.
that even that inner circle have dollar figures in their eyes,
Yeah.
you're on the right track or you're ready.
So you alluded before to a script that you've written. Are you talking about especially? Is that the script that you're?
Oh, that's one, I guess. No, the one I was talking
okay.
about before, that's something I wrote in 2018, I think,
Mm.
or 2014. It was called Demon in the Trees. And that's about 4 young Australians, early 20s, who grew up in the welfare system together and find themselves each other's family. So it's a found family story at the core. It sounds like it's ripe for an action movie, but it's not. That's what it's about, their relationship. And they find out one of them is acting a bit strange, and they decide to go to the center of Australia to ride our toughest terrain in the middle of nowhere, camp and ride their bikes. That's what they like to do. And only 2 of them come back.
All right.
So, yeah, that was that. But especially is a modern day tale that takes place in Boston. And our lead is a little mentally ill. He manages on some light drugs and his own isolation, but he thinks that he can hear people's thoughts.
Yeah.
Completely self-aware.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that doesn't stop him from getting into some trouble, which also leads to
So you
him
said
finding out it's real.
you're making a pilot
Yeah.
for television. Are you in the process of that?
So it's actually written.
Yeah.
All the main cast have read it and eagerly signed on.
Wow.
And Craig McLachlan is
Yeah.
one of them.
Yeah.
So he'd be the lead.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a cop.
No, he's the lead, Jasper. Very complicated character.
Okay.
Very childlike. Zero social responsibility.
Yeah.
For somebody who isolates himself, extremely charming. There's a lot of depth to the character. Yeah. And he's not necessarily always a good guy.
Well, I was very lucky and very feel very privileged that you let me read it. Read the.
Why don't you tell me what you think? I'm not afraid of the audience hearing a few details.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think anyone can necessarily steal work to the degree that would warrant proper guardianship.
Well, I like the wordplay on Dr. Quill, Sarah Quill.
Sarah Quill.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a little bit of fun. I realized from reading your script that that, and probably this isn't, and I don't know why I didn't think of this before, why it didn't occur to me that all script writing is all show, no tell.
Yep.
And that was really, really good. I think all your characters have depth, and that comes through. And I think your set up for what's going to come is great. But my favorite character is, I think, I don't know, detective or the cop, McInnes.
Yep. What's really great about him is I've already cast him as well, and I got to direct him already because both him and Dr. Quill are in the short sci-fi that I filmed.
Okay.
So Dr. Quill is going to be played by Melissa Jones. She's the lead in Echoes, who wrote Echoes as well, that Casey directed and I scored. And she wrote this.
Yeah.
And put this together. Being able to direct her and who's going to play Shane McInnes.
But you know, Daniel, I don't want anything bad to happen to him.
To Shane?
No, to McInnes.
Well,
is it? Yeah.
Look, I'm not going to Game of Thrones it. It's not that kind of show.
Don't listen to me. I'm just saying, as a person who read it,
Yeah, but look, he's Paul Hughes is going to play him,
right?
And he's like a good-looking, chiseled, abs dude.
Oh,
he's young.
That's not how I pictured him, but anyway, that's nice.
Well, between him and Walters, there's Walters is a little older.
Yeah.
And muscles to boot as well. Like he is built like a Viking, the guy that and he's a fellow named Anthony Thomas. He's played in a few like great movies that I've seen.
Right.
And but what's cool is McInnes or Paul, he's Irish, and I get to utilize his natural accent, which I'm looking forward to.
Right.
Everyone's always making him an American.
Why did you set it in Boston?
2 reasons. One, I really wanted Walters to be played by Anthony. And while his American accent is decent, he still struggles a little bit with the R's, as a lot of Australian actors do.
Okay.
The R at the end of a word.
Yeah. Give me an example.
In Boston, we don't go to the car.
Okay.
We go to the car.
Yeah.
They drop their R's at the end of words, and it's a lot easier to get natural performance like that.
Okay.
So I originally just thought, hey, I want to try and include a few things, one of which is to show him off a bit more. He's also usually pegged as the bad guy.
Right.
He's the nicest guy as well. But yeah, he's usually pegged as a bad guy, and I thought this is a good opportunity to... Walters actually has a crap load of depth. You might not get that from the pilot, though.
No.
Yeah, but by the end of episode 2, everyone is established. And Walters, he's great. You're going to get, surprisingly, you're going to get a lot of laughs out of Walters.
Right.
Yeah.
But I like him already. I like the two.
Yeah. Oh, they're a great duo. Yeah. I mean, so I cast it partly in Boston for that, but mostly after Jasper, a few spoilers here. Not that we've discussed actual details, but by the end of it, Jasper is locked in a mental institution.
Right.
And Well, in episode 2, McInnes is also knocked out, unconscious at the bad guy's
I didn't want to
house.
say that, but
Yeah.
you said it. So.
It's okay. It's okay. And McInnes has been gone for hours at this point.
Yeah.
So Walters chases it up, and he goes there.
Mm.
And it's only after he puts his life on the line and ends the situation,
Walter.
and finds his partner,
Yeah.
locked away, and just manages to call it in before falling unconscious himself.
Yeah.
The 2 episodes after that, like, there's this one sequence where McInnes it's a time lapse, and he's just looking over at the bed next to him, and the nurses can't tell him what's happening with Walters yet. And there's this scene where we finally break out of the montage, and we're in silence, no music or anything, and we're holding on it for a while to really get you in there. And they finally wheel him in, and this is a recovery room, and there's no dialogue. McInnes just bawls.
Yeah.
You know, there's a few instances like that on both ends that really illustrate how close they are.
Right.
And those moments usually come from Walters.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like it's a pretty wild crew that come together throughout this. And which brings me to my point of why I chose Boston. The main reason is the pub culture. A lot of Irish pubs there.
Yeah.
And a lot of pubs have like gambling houses in back.
Mm.
Illegal gambling houses. So not only does part of the plot that I'm planning fit in there really well, but I also get access to X amount of Irish pubs right here where we're filming and where I live that will look similar.
Right.
So mostly practical.
Yeah.
Part indulgence on an actor, but also it's a break from Australia. It's a break from reality.
You know what I'd like to see?
What?
Something made around King's Cross at its height, something like what you've written here, but not, without that Australiana.
So underbelly, but
making.
not quite underbelly.
I didn't like underbelly.
I watched one episode. I couldn't. I've heard the recent series that was done on John Ibrahim was really good.
All right,
but
but you know what I'm talking about, that grittiness, that sort of American, or even British sort of detective.
Well, like we said before, that stuff really happens.
Yeah,
there are stories there.
Yeah, not the Australian way of.
Yeah,
I don't know what I'm talking about because I don't know much about filmmaking. Or
Did you ever watch a show called Mr. In Between?
No.
All right, that's an Aussie show.
Yeah.
I may sound like I hate Aussie productions, full stop. Not true. Mr. In Between, fantastic.
Okay.
People might think, oh, it's a bit weird the way they talk and the way the violence and everything happens in that. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Like bad guys, I'm doing the quotation marks, but really bad guys in real life, the gangsters, most of the time, they're hilarious.
Yeah.
They will make you like them regardless of what you want to happen after that meeting. You'll walk out liking them. Yeah. They'll include you in jokes. They'll make you feel comfortable. They'll probably feed you. They might even bag out one of their own goons at the goon's expense and have you jump in and whatever tricks that they think they can do to get you liking them, even if they're getting they might not get anything out of it.
I've had experiences of that.
Yeah, so
around King's Cross and
so they can manipulate you like they will.
Yeah, I've served them coffee and meals and gone with some of their I don't know what you call it, people to pick up money at strip clubs all over Sydney and stuff like that.
Yep. You don't even realize, and they make you feel like everything's normal.
Oh, I do. You do. Yeah. You know they are, but they make you feel.
You maybe. I'm slower. Always younger.
They make you feel nice and okay, and everything's okay. And they always had money. But there are certain times when you know it's not okay, and that's when you hang out or do things with the people below them, the lackeys, for want of a better word.
Yeah, like the hands-on.
Yeah,
like first level people.
Yeah, and that's when you think, oh, this shit's real.
Yeah, but like we said before as well, I didn't know it was weird. That was normal.
Right.
It's just how it was.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, it's pretty scary.
Yeah. Well, that's probably why I have a deep appreciation for the people that can just get up every day and go do
Go to
their
work.
9 to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's commendable.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as it sounds. Maybe it is for a lot of people, but I personally feel like that takes a lot of strength to be able to do, just to commit your 9 to 5 most of your life.
That's where
to
I
the one
think
thing,
men
be on the straight
especially
and narrow.
are underappreciated when it
Oh,
comes to that.
Oh, we're not going to talk about men appreciation, are we? We're under. Yeah,
Look, I'm one of those
we'd be
that,
here for another
thinks
8 hours.
that thinks things swung too
Yeah.
much one way, and
They did. Like men are pieces of shit all of a sudden.
Yeah,
And you don't want to acknowledge, like, even,
and I hate that because
even
anyway.
domestic violence. We keep going on about Australia says no to violence against women. All right, why are the figures pretty much half?
Yeah,
And it's pretty well known that men don't report. So why,
Yeah.
realistically,
yeah,
is it that most women are the perpetrators of the violence at home?
mm,
Like, you don't want to address that. You're going to be called whatever name just for mentioning it.
yeah,
No, this is a genuine question based off the data. You know,
yeah.
you're peddling something here and it's inaccurate, and now you're going on the attack. This is just very general.
Hopefully, it's starting to swing back because
Like I said, I think it started already, but we're
Yeah,
behind in
yeah.
Australia.
Yeah.
So we're still going to have the next few Father's Days, hijacked by hashtag mums are dads too and all that shit.
yeah.
It's, mums are great and they have their place, and dads do too. I think we've forgotten that, or we've skewed what that place is.
Yeah, it'll come back. It's coming
Yeah.
back, and it's coming
Yeah.
back soon.
I think we're starting to see how important dads are, especially in places like the US where family units have been disenfranchised for decades now. And we've got adults, people my age, who are, fatherless.
Yeah,
And they're all expressing very similar traits.
yeah,
The women are dependent, have no self-respect or control, fans only fans. It's purely because of those people, that most of those people are populating it.
the influences that are.
Yeah. And then the men aren't dadding themselves.
Yeah,
You've taken such a crucial role in the family unit that it's affected society en masse. And we're seeing the results of that. And
Yeah.
no one is acknowledging it
yeah.
or allowed to.
Are they starting to? I'm not sure. I think overseas they are. Did
Yeah.
it affect Australia as much as it did, say, America? I'm not.
You wouldn't say that if you lived in Victoria.
Okay.
Now, we've got some hubs of wokeism
Right.
that are pathetic and illegal, and no law is enforced upon them. There were cafes at times where I could go into in Melbourne, in the city, and this is the city. This is the hub where law has to be enforced,
Yeah.
and I have to pay more for a coffee
Really?
because I'm a man.
Did that happen?
Yeah.
Is that happening
That
now?
exact situation I remember has happened, maybe even more than once. But like, where do you get the gall? You know?
Yeah.
What's this pink tax bullshit? You have to get pads. Okay, men don't have to get pads. It's not really a tax, is it? How about the fact that you can walk into any clothing store and get a nice top for $10 or $15? Men can't do that. Is there a male tax because our shirts start from $40 and up for a plain tee? No. It's just nitpicking,
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm rambling now.
No. I'm just thinking, because I'm so pro man, because our women recently, last 10 years or so, started saying things like, we can do anything men can do. No, you freaking cannot.
Or they graduated to now, we don't need men.
Yeah. And it's
I'd rather be with a bear than
Yeah.
a man. Okay.
so over time, last 50 years or so, I've seen this change.
Yep.
And I've seen how it affects men.
Yep.
And I hate it, and
Look, I've got 3 young boys as well. And my wife will even occasionally be like, fuck, it's a shit time to be bringing up boys because everything masculine is demonized.
it'll get,
Yeah.
I think it'll get better. When my son
Yep.
was going to primary school, they changed the curriculum to focus more on female
Yep.
learning.
Yeah, even now, our like UTS, I think, in Sydney,
Yeah.
lowered the, I think engineering courses by 20% or something for females.
No, you don't want to do that in engineering. That's
This is
dangerous.
years ago. Oh, well, look at what about that? The air. There was a plane recently, and they were bragging about it was solely run by a female, and they crashed.
Yeah.
Come on.
No,
this is our safety. And
yeah.
It goes. I think people are starting to see how ridiculous it is, but it's silly that this stuff has to happen still.
Yeah. I'm hoping we're at the tail end of that. So
time
to change.
Bring me a 6'5", 200 kilo of pure muscle female who's a professional fighter, and me as a dad with dad bod who hasn't worked out in 10+ years. I'm sorry, you can send death threats over this, people, but I will demolish her in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't even be a question of it. And okay, you're like 100 and something kilos. I can pick you up and slam you like you're nothing.
Yeah.
I'm half your size and weight, and you're going to have trouble.
Yeah. See, I know that. I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of younger women have been brought up on these ideas.
Yeah, they're told we're told that, but it's not real.
It's not, yeah.
It's
not
real.
The reality of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like, the trans argument that's been like quite prevalent in recent months about like, biological men in female sports. All the arguments are, yeah, but they've had the hormones, this, that. But no. Research. The people that are saying, yeah, this is that, but science. Well, why don't you understand what science is before you say, but science? There are things hormones can't change. Our lung capacity, our chest cavities are bigger, our bones are more dense, our brains engage more muscle fibers in each muscle. I think we even adapt to fast and slow twitch fibers quicker.
Yeah.
When it comes to like long-term training. Where our ligaments are hooked up to the millimeter makes a massive difference with like torque and power.
Yeah.
All of these are different.
Yeah.
And the most important part of it is, and this is what a lot of people don't understand, the mindset's different. The same person, but one with an aggressive mindset, like directed aggression. Like male, we need this to survive in nature aggression, versus someone without it, there's not a competition.
Yeah, I've often thought even with jobs, where men are doing these dirty, filthy, horrible, physical jobs.
There's a mindset to it.
Yeah.
All right,
and that's what I think.
When I was younger, I didn't have a family, and I was a music producer, and I only had to do one song every couple of weeks, and I'd be living large, shouting my mates and getting the latest PlayStation game or whatnot.
Yeah.
And I'd jump onto a job site every now and then. When one of my friends' older brothers who had a building business would be like, oh, no one turned up in that. I'll be in Rose Bay, and I'll get on the kangaroo and I'll break this marble floor in their guest house for you.
Yeah.
Every time I jump onto a job site, because I'm not a tradie like that, I'm like a physical dude, but like I don't do it for work. The first few hours or the first day, you're there at like 5:30, 6 a.m. It's cold. You're grabbing bricks and whatever. It's a very slow process because I'm picking up the bricks and I'm moving them over. I'm not like picking up with my pinky in the air and all dainty and stuff, put it like this. No, I'm grabbing shit. I'm moving it.
Yeah.
But when the mindset changes within those few hours of the day, I realize that I've got my gloves on. I'm just digging in. My fingers are stiff and taut. I'm ripping into it. I'm throwing it over there. Shit's getting done 4 times quicker. I'm like, I might have a few cuts and scratches or whatnot, but that doesn't bother me. Like it's this, I'm not a 2-year-old. But the mindset change.
Yeah.
I physically note it whenever I used to do that, and there is like a switch, and then like I might be there for 3 or 4 days helping out. After that switch has happened, again, I'm there in the morning.
Yeah.
First thing, like the mind has switched. I know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to toughen up. I'm going to dig in. I'm going to my body's going to engage in more torque than more velocity. I'm doing heavier, slower, more intentional moves.
Because I've seen that with a lot of men who do these types of jobs. I've never seen that in a woman.
No.
I must admit.
And I think that is a mindset. And there are women in construction. I'm not talking about now. All the traffic controllers are women, and that's how they've balanced the numbers. But like I've seen women bricklayers and stuff on a few occasions.
Same mindset, or?
I would not film them and say, hey, see, women can do it too, because you can see the difference.
Right.
Like there is a big difference to how things are done, Yeah. Like the bricks are faster, more reliant, straighter by that guy.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's, slapping stuff on and being really rough with it, but it's exact to the millimeter. They're like artists,
Yeah.
So I definitely think, it's a mindset. I don't think I've acknowledged it like that before, but when you
Yeah.
mentioned it, it just clicked to me that it must be a mindset thing, and I've experienced it myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to talk to you about one last thing, Daniel. AI.
Oh dear. Adobe Illustrator. I'm very familiar with this program. No, the program does have artificial intelligence in it too. But AI, wow.
Well, I try and keep up with AI, a lot of things.
Yeah.
And how is that? Does that, or how is that? I'm just going to read my question. How's that?
Yeah, go for it.
So, what do you think about the effects that AI has on digital spaces, and what will this look like in the future? For example, how this affects creativity, which goes along for me with plagiarism, taking over jobs in your industry, and is there a concern with quality, that is writing or filmmaking, which I can only at this stage think is derivative, and for the foreseeable future can only be derivative. And that's because AI learns and then it produces so much, so it's learning from itself.
You hit the nail on the head there at the end. So, everyone's worried that AI is going to take our jobs. And look, everyone thought that about the self checkouts at shopping centres, at Coles and Woolies and places like that.
Yeah.
No, people didn't lose their jobs. They just needed people there to work the machines.
Right.
As things become more tech based,
Yeah.
a lot of manual jobs are going to go. Yes, this isn't even AI I'm talking about now. This is just machinery, industry. But as a result, there was a lot less people on the working floor. Still people there, but a lot of people moved on to being the engineers behind those machines. So the roles graduated in, like, we move up through society with tech in that way, and everyone's always worried, oh, this is going to take our jobs. It hasn't happened in the past, and I don't think it's going to happen here. And by that, I mean AI is a great assistant, and it's a great tool for the little manual jobs. So filmmaking, for example, I don't have to cut out a person from a background frame by frame and animate that cutout. Days of work. I can just click a button, swipe it over a person, and it'll know, oh, it's a person. I'm going to cut just that person out, And then I can just let it do its thing. And every few frames, just correct it and just say, okay, go do your thing. And I'm going to go get a coffee. That helps out a lot, but that's not going to replace my job completely. Is it going to take a lot of work away from people that do that job? Masking, rotoscoping, they call it too. Yes, but is it going to replace the writing and the actual directing and the editing itself? I don't think so, because if you get AI to do that, and AI is very impressive these days, it still feels wrong. It still feels wrong to the average person, which is the audience. They don't have to know about tech and how things are made. It's just about how they receive the product. And I think while AI can help out a lot, I don't think it's going to replace our jobs completely. It's going to change those jobs or the priority of those jobs. Yeah.
There's talk of AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, which I think Elon Musk claims that we have it now, but I don't think so. And there's talk of ASI, artificial superintelligence. And the prevailing thought is once we reach superintelligence, that it will take over everything. And what do you think of that? Like, they predict that AGI is supposed to be here by the year 2027.
Yep.
And once it reaches AGI, then ASI won't be that long after.
And that's
what do you?
That's our point of. I think that's been described as the point at which we can't predict the rise of our own intelligence. That was laid out in the 90s or the 80s, I think, or maybe even earlier than that. And it's been true up until a few years ago.
Yeah.
I think we surpassed that a few years ago, unfortunately, for humanity. um, yeah, look, general
Do
intelligence.
you think we're living in this dystopia now? I said this.
Judging by the things that have actually come out about, COVID and
Yeah.
certain government operations, things like crazy conspiracies like, oh, Marilyn Manson was a CIA implant and his job was to do this and that, and it was part of this MK Ultra program, whatever. Holy fuck, it was all true. And we actually have the evidence of it. And all these conspiracies that I would have said, you're a nut job, get a hobby,
Yeah.
all true. Even recent ones about COVID and all that, the conspiracy, they all ended up being fucking true. Half the people don't want to acknowledge it either.
Because they took the shots.
It's scary. It's
Yeah.
scary because that means most of these people that were scared into doing it,
Yeah.
because they're good people that feel like they're being responsible to society.
Yeah.
If they acknowledge that, they have to acknowledge, fuck, I got my daughter vaccinated and she's probably going to have infertility issues. And yeah, her periods were a bit weird for the first few times after the shots.
Mm.
That's scary. And that would make you feel absolutely horrible. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I got my son jabbed, this is that. And already two of his friends, they're only 16 years old, two of his friends have had heart attacks.
Yeah.
That is scary. And you would feel guilty. Surely you'd feel horrible. I know I would. And that would be hard to admit. That would be tough. But yeah, look, as far as AI goes, look, all those were conspiracies. And now conspiracy is fact in a few weeks.
Yeah.
We dig in, we find stuff. Governments seem to disclose quite a bit, but the average person doesn't go to find it or doesn't acknowledge it, but it's there.
Well, it's an interesting juxtaposition, I suppose, of having so much information at your fingertips, and I think the majority of people don't want to know anything, and they don't look, and they don't read, and they don't.
I think too much happened too quick, and the human race hasn't figured out how to use its tech. And I only say that because I was thinking of it the other day. There was a study. I don't know how valid this study is, but the general result of it was to say your child is screen addicted if you grab it and hold it upside down. If it freaks out, it's screen addicted. If not, it's normal. So I was like, okay, my 8-year-old is screen addicted. The 5-year-old, no. The 1-year-old, no. So I grabbed the 1-year-old and hung him upside down. He was laughing. I grabbed the 5-year-old, no warning, just did it.
Yeah.
And he started cracking up. And a bit slower and more careful with the 8-year-old because I thought I knew what the result was going to be. He was trying to hold it in, but he was panicking. So I put him back and we had a laugh.
Yeah.
And, I'm not to say that this study is valid, and it does sound silly, but I haven't read it myself.
Yeah.
Just an anecdote, just the results. It was funny. But I was thinking, screen addiction seems to be real because there are real results after letting the 8-year-old play games. An hour of gameplay on the weekend.
Yeah.
And he'll get really moody and have these withdrawals. It's really nasty. And the smaller the screen, so going to the pad and then a phone, the more intense it is.
Right.
So by the time you get to the, TikTok on your mum's phone stage at night, like I can't stand seeing that. I don't know why parents allow it. But that's proper addiction. You see the results afterwards. It's horrible. And I just think we haven't learned as a human, as a species, to use the tech the way we're supposed to. Yeah, we're going digital in schools. Everything's digital.
How are we supposed to?
I feel like studies should have been done on exposure more to screens and how we consume information. I don't think schools should be going completely digital either. I think they should be using paper and pen. Half the time math is taught with patterns and that. And even then, I just think there's a benefit to the way we develop it through manual calculation. We're losing a lot. And it's been happening long enough so that you can see the result in the kids as well as they're becoming teenagers and entering the workforce.
Are we creating future generations that are not as knowledgeable, educated,
motivated? Yeah. Right. So usually I'd say everything happens in cycles. and a good way to describe like society generally, and to bring it back to the whole man conversation as well. I might get this wrong, but I really did like this quote. Hard times produce strong men. Strong men produce easy times. Easy times produce weak men. Now we're at the point where weak men has produced easy times, and that's flipping. But what isn't cyclical is this rise of technology and AI, so we can bring all our conversations together here.
Yeah.
We haven't figured out how to adapt to it. We don't know what all
Is
this
it because it
exposure has
grows? It
done.
grows quicker. It
Yeah.
moves a lot quicker than.
Yeah. Look, attention span, like we've done a lot of study on that in terms of what type of media attracts people's attention, how to keep them on. One thing that was annoying my wife the other night that she only noticed for the first time, which happens a lot, and again, she hasn't noticed it before, is small cuts in YouTube videos where they'll cut and zoom in just like 2% or something where you can't really tell, and then zoom back out again. They do that every now and then.
Right.
Little things like that are to retain your attention. But they also apparently increase the gray matter in your brain. They make you dumber. They physically make you dumber. This was a study on porn addiction, I think, decades ago as well. They found that consumption of porn increases gray matter in your brain. So it's like dead space. That's places where there is no activity. You're not using that part of your brain. You don't want gray matter in your brain. And this could be from flooding your serotonin or some of your pleasure receptors.
Is that why I've gotten dumber over the years then?
I think we've all suffered from it. Shorts on YouTube, for example.
Yes, I try hard not to watch them.
Okay.
But
when have you gone to just check your phone and you realize you've been staring at your phone scrolling for an hour when you should be in bed?
Not on my phone.
Yeah. Okay. But like that has happened, right? Like shorts, you're just trapped.
Yeah.
I've had to become aware of that and control it myself. And mornings as well. I'm usually up at about 4 a.m. I've got to make sure that all the videos that YouTube or any of the social media are sending me in the morning, I have to be careful not to click on just anything because it is very apparent that Facebook, Instagram, mostly those two, want me to be angry in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
It will only feed me
Really?
stories that are
Time specific.
Yeah, it's morning.
Wow.
And I have to think this is intentional because, like, as far as neuroplasticity goes, our morning dictates the rest of our day.
How do you handle that now? Do you just ignore it?
Yeah, like there might be certain political based channels
that
I used to follow. I've stopped recently, but in recent years, I'd get up at about 3 o'clock. I'd watch every presidential, mind blank right now. When there's press secretary,
right?
Press every press.
Why did you do that?
Because I would hear from the horse's mouth, not just those, but like court cases that are being televised and everything. Because I would get the heads up on everything happening as it's happening. Right. And I've got a few hours in the morning to wake up. I could probably dedicate that to working out or doing something, but that's what I would do. And by 10 a.m., some friends on the right, pretty much all friends on the left, by 10 a.m. are talking absolute shit on both sides.
Wow.
And both don't know what's actually going on and just nitpicking or making up stuff that's just going to reinforce their own personal views.
I listen to a lot of long form podcasts.
Long form's important. More important now than ever.
That take about, at the very least, an hour and a half to 3 or 4 hours.
Yep. And that's why Joe Rogan's show is the most popular in the world.
Yeah.
It's become very important to be long form because too many people will make cuts in their edits.
Yeah.
All the mainstream media do it. We do it here as well.
Yeah.
And they completely demonize people and change things around. They take things completely out of context, just like you would imagine they do in a movie.
Yeah.
Like a bad TV show plot where they make it way too obvious. It's exactly how it happens.
Yeah. And I do that because I don't like to have or to have something make me feel a certain way.
Yeah. I don't want to feel like I'm part of a tribe either. That tribalism is really bad these days. Like Donald Trump's probably the most divisive figure now. And everyone wants to basically vet you by being like, are you a MAGA or not? You know what? I may say, well, screw you. I agree with most of the things he's done, and I think he's done a great job. Doesn't mean I like him. It doesn't mean I approve of everything he does, and I'm just going to like headlong be a supporter and whatnot. I'll think for myself, and I think a lot of people don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't expect them to put in a few hours every day of like watching stuff and checking it out themselves.
Well, I find on social media and on those platforms like YouTube and all the rest of it, if you listen to certain things, they're going to tell you how you should feel. They're going to tell you what you should think.
Yep.
So I can understand how people get caught up in that. Critical thinking is not a thing that's taught to everyone, which I think should be taught in schools.
Yeah.
It's taught since primary school, I think.
Yeah. I think it's crushed. It's crushed in early school, if anything.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem to happen very much.
I remember having many questions in primary school and getting in trouble for them as well.
Yeah.
And later in life realizing, no, that was a pretty valid question. And
made to feel small.
Yeah. I think Catholic
or you
school
were
at
made
least
to
is what
feel stupid.
Yeah, well, I can speak for at least Catholic schools. And their job wasn't to educate you; it was to
get you through primary,
beat you down and keep you in line, so that you can be one of those people that are just following the masses.
Yeah. You're being a lamb.
Yeah.
To sheep.
Yep. And now we're a society of sheeple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna end it on that. So I want to say that you also know a lot about producing podcasts.
Yes. Well, I do that for work as well. Yeah.
So in light of that fact, and in consideration of your skills and experience, it's quite humbling that you agreed to be on our podcast. I feel quite humbled by that because we're just a group of people that we're just winging it.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the main reason I came. Like, we're locals, and it's when you're just trying to do something for yourself as well, especially. It's hard to get people to commit.
Yeah.
I remember on several occasions I'd have cancellations last minute.
Yeah.
And you can't do that when you're producing another person's show. When it's your job to produce that show for another person, you need backups and a backup's backup. And if you're like putting on this show for locals and stuff like that, it's that much harder.
Yeah. And we've had a few setbacks in the past couple of weeks since I saw you last.
Okay.
Where we have not been able to do any interviews or podcasts.
Well, look, even today, the weather's pretty bad, and like my nerves are, sort of on fire, and I was in my pajamas still, and I was like, oh, I've got the podcast soon.
You should have just come over in your pajamas. It's not like we're filming you.
Yeah. Well, my wife, she was just like, well, can you cancel? I was like, no. No. She's like, why? I was like, because that's probably the issue. It's a local podcast. And no, I'm not cancelling.
Yeah.
So no, it was a pleasure. I just hope you get enough out of this episode.
Yes.
I didn't go off on too many tangents and, make this hard for you in the edit. That's all.
I think the last time I spoke to you, the problem was with me. It wasn't with you. You're great.
Well,
and looking forward to seeing more of that Baker and Stone show.
Yes. Well, I'll make sure that I pressure Casey about that.
Yeah.
He does really want to do it. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
All right. Great. Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you.